This is my boss locked account. I've locked this account to only getting experience from bosses and only getting my items from bosses. That means I can't pick up items, kill other monsters outside of bosses, or buy from shops. This account is also an Ironman, so that means no trading or no using the grain exchange. My goal is to obtain some of the best and most iconic weapons and armor in the game. To do this, I need to do some of the hardest content in this game on an account that has only been trained through bosses. And this is my journey. So I just logged in and it looks like I'm in Death's office, which I was very confused about because I thought I was just fishing pike when I last left. Then I looked at the map and I found out where I died and I was like, how did I die there? What could have killed me? Then it dawned on me. I died by a fucking tree. I think I might be one of the first people who have died by one of those trees since the release of Old School. Anyway, I got my fishing bait back from my grave and decided it was time to go to Wintertodt because I had finished editing. Here's my fishing and cooking level. Fishing at 56 and cooking is at 50. In my bank, I now have just over 1k cooked pike, which should be enough with all the other food I have for 99 firemaking at Wintertodt. So I headed to Wintertodt to start the grind. I arrived at Wintertodt, which will be my home for a fair while. Actually, never mind, I forgot to do one thing before coming, and that was my next exception. And that exception is Druidic Ritual. It's an exception because I can't get the different meats from bosses, so I have to kill the monsters themselves to get it. I needed to unlock Herbal because firstly, I wanted to be able to make my own potions, and secondly, for later in my account when I get to Chambers, I'll be able to make my potions in there, which will be a massive help for actually being able to complete it. While collecting the meats, I had to do one of my favorite things again, flinching. And there we go, I finished Druidic Ritual. Now time to make the long walk back to Wintertodt. One of the worst things about a restricted account is having one agility and having to walk everywhere. Really makes the game feel a tad too big. Finally got to Wintertodt after what felt like a century with that walk. Now it's time for me to explain Wintertodt and what I'm looking at getting from here. So Wintertodt is a skilling boss much like Temporos, but this one you can actually take damage in and potentially die, unlike Temporos. Here you can chop logs and fletch the logs and then chuck them in the braziers for points. You could also just chop the logs and chuck them straight in without fletching. Now you might ask, why fletch? And I can tell you, you're not the first person who's asked. At Wintertodt you need 500 points of contribution to get a crate, which has a reward. Fletching logs and burning them gives 25 points each, and just putting logs in gives 10 points each. There are some other things you can do for points like relighting the braziers when they go out and healing the pyromancer when he's crying like a bitch. Now, as I mentioned just before, at 500 points you receive a crate. You can also receive another roll in that crate for more items every further 250 points you get. The reason I say could is because it's a 50-50. You either do or you don't. Not even as a meme, it's a 50% chance for another roll. Now, some of the items that you can roll come in varying amounts. Some of the things that I want will be these items on the unique table. Any of the pyromancer pieces, the warm gloves, and the Wintertodt too. The pyro pieces are the only warm items that I can get, and will be significant help here since they will make me take less damage and make this a more relaxed experience. The Wintertodt will also be my only obtainable light source, which will come in handy later in the account when I need to enter dark areas. Two other items I want from the unique table are the Dragon Axe and the Tome of Fire. The Dragon Axe would actually be a not too bad melee weapon for me. Yeah, I know, I want a dragon axe for chopping heads and not chopping trees, which is really dumb, but it would be my best weapon for a little while. The Tome of Fire is the only item that I really need and will stay here until I get it. This item will give me easy access to fire runes, since when it is charged with burnt pages, it acts as fire runes. I need this because it is actually not easy for me to be able to obtain fire runes or a fire staff currently, and will come in handy being a relatively easy way to get fire runes. Some other items I'll be looking for are any of the lower tier logs like oaks, willows, and maples, since this will be the only way for me to be able to obtain them, and I can use them to make some lower level bows to help me with range later on. The other items I want will be any of the herbs and herb seeds that I'll be able to get secondaries for, that being Marantils, Taramins, Paralandus, Ranars, Aventos, Qualms, Catentines, Lantadymes, dwarf weeds, also some snapegrass and watermelon seeds. Lastly, on the other items table, I will be able to get some coins, pure essence, and burnt pages that I will need for my tome. That sums up everything that I want from Wintertodt, so let's get started. I'm starting at 38 woodcutting, 1 fletching, and 1 construction. Let's see what levels we can get by the end. It's pretty dangerous for me in here at the minute. I get hit by 3s by the cold. If I get hit by the brazier breaking, it hits for a 4. And if I get hit by their snow attack, it hits 8s. So I kind of actually really need to concentrate here at the minute. There is 60 firemaking. I haven't got anything worthwhile yet, but I have started a bank tab, and I won't show it till the end, but I will show the important drops I get along the way. Got my first warm item on KC32. Got a Wintertodt, which is great since now I'll take less damage and I'll be able to use it as a light source later. Also, 68 firemaking for my first warm item. I put an XP tracker up on the top of the screen to show the progress when I do these clips too, so look out for that. There's 70 firemaking. I thought I'd do an update every 10 levels or so because I don't want to bore you with just literally the same clips over and over. Received a Pyromancer Garb on 43 KC, which is literally just 1 KC after I just recorded that clip for 70 firemaking. I've noticed that I'm only getting hit for ones when the cold seeps into my bones now after getting my Pyro Garb. So I went and checked the Wintertodt damage calculator and noticed that it had a firemaking level and found out that the damage also scales on your firemaking level, which is great since I thought I would need 4 warm items, but with only 2 warm items and 70 firemaking, I'm only taking 1 damage from the cold now, 3 damage from the braziers, and 5 damage from the falling snow. Got some warm gloves at 75 KC, so my rate of getting warm items isn't actually that bad at this point. You won't believe how happy I was when I actually saw this drop. That is my Tome of Fire at 81 KC. This is the main item that I wanted from Wintertodt because this will increase my max hit when using fire spells and also act as fire runes so I won't have to get them as a drop from bosses, which will be a massive help since it's very hard for me to get fire runes or even a fire staff currently. Even though I got my tome ridiculously early, I'm going to stay here for 99 because it will be way easier to get it with low hit points. I need to open the crates while my stats are lower also because the lower level rewards are more important to this account than getting higher level rewards. Then later, because when your skills increase, so do the higher level rewards you get from Wintertodt. And that is 80 firemaking. I've managed to get 47 woodcutting, 44 fletching, and 21 construction so far. This is also still the first day of me getting to Wintertodt, as you may see that I have gained 1.3 mil XP, which was about 9 hours since I was getting 150k XP an hour. I really wasn't minding Wintertodt at this point since it's very fast and way better than flinching, or I might have Stockholm Syndrome, who knows. I did also make a discovery that isn't too great for me. I thought that when you use up the potion to heal the pyromancers, you would get to keep the empty vials, but you don't. So currently, my only way to get vials is from potion drops or from the Dr. Jekyll random event. There is my second pyromancer piece at 230 KC. That is 187 KC from when I got my first pyro piece at 43 KC. That was a massive dry streak. I did, however, manage to get 2 more warm gloves and broomer torches in between, so I will now receive magic seeds instead of them, so at least that's something, I suppose. On my next chest opening of these 11 crates, I got myself the pyro legs at 253 KC. Much better than going 187 KC dry again. Still kind of annoyed at that. Then I got my final pyro piece at 263 KC, which was my next crate opening after the legs. So by the end, I ended up going pretty dry from getting my first pyro piece at 43 KC. And that's 92 firemaking. Now I'm halfway to 99. My skills are looking pretty beefy now too. I have 41 construction, which is amazing, 59 fletching, and 57 woodcutting. I really want 65 fletching by the time I leave so I can hopefully make a U short bow, but I'll have to see what I get. $99 firemaking. Looking back at the grind, it wasn't that bad and only took me about a week, but that was with me getting about 1.5 mil firemaking XP a day because I wanted to get this episode out sooner. My stats finishing here is 48 construction, 64 woodcutting, and 64 fletching, with being halfway to 65, which is what I want, so it's not that bad at all. I'm actually really happy with all the other levels I got from doing this, and I'm glad I pushed through to 99 firemaking for all these levels. Now, you might see in my bank that I have a lot of crates, and that's because I haven't opened any from level 92 onwards. So I'm going to open them now and see what I get because I don't want to save them since the lower tier resources will be more beneficial for me. So I'll show you what I got from 50 to 99 firemaking now. So the tab is worth nearly 6.5 mil. I managed to get myself the tome and 555 burnt pages, which will be equal to just over 11,000 fire spells. I got heaps of other good resources, mainly being all the silver ore, all the herbs, the logs, and a huge amount of gems. What else is also good is the 5 magic seeds that I got. On this account, there is no way for me to get plant pots, but I will be able to put the magic seeds in Death's coffer and use the money from them to eventually claim back my items from some bosses when I inevitably die in the future. So I decided to trade in my pyro pieces to get some more crates to see what I could get. But I got nothing, and I actually kind of really regret turning them in for crates and not turning them for pages, but oh well. So now that I've finished Wintertodt with 555 KC, which is a very satisfying number, and surprisingly also the same number of burnt pages I got, you're probably wondering what I'm going to do next. The next thing that I'm going to do is actually quest. Specifically, the quests that I want to do are X marks the spot and Client of Corrend. Since both of these quests will give me some XP lamps that I can put into smithing to level it up and make the final levels a heap easier to finish with genies. X marks the spot gives me a 300 XP lamp and a beginner clue scroll, which would be great to finish and hopefully get a staff from it. Client of Corrend will give me 2 XP lamps at a 500 XP each, so it should get me to a pretty high level. I can do these quests since I got the items needed from bosses. For X marks the spot, I got the spade from Chambers of Xeric, and I got the feather that is needed for Client of Corrend from Temporis. Let's go get these quests done. So I just managed to do X marks the spot, so let's put this lamp I got into smithing and let's go start this beginner clue scroll that I got. First step, completed. Oh, okay, that was a casket. Let's see if we can actually get anything from this. Please, what I'm hoping for, air staff. Air staff, please. Or, like, fire staff will do. Just air or fire, anything like that would be just great. There's, like, a couple other things in the beginning that I can get that would be good, but just them two would be perfect. Or air staff, fire staff, or just a normal short bow. They would be the best things for me. And of course, I get one of the rare things from the beginner clues. What the absolute shit did I just get? It's my favorite one. It's green. I like the color green. It's my favorite one. But what the absolute fuck? That was one beginner clue scroll. Like, it's not worth much, but it's rare. Like, that's why I'm just, like, dumb. Like, how did it happen? How did it happen? So I managed to get myself a Rune Scimitar Ornament Kit, which is a 1 in 360 drop chance. I'm still surprised about getting this even after rewatching this clip back. I can't even get a Rune Scimitar until I kill Scorpia later on, so this item will be useless till then and will just stay in my bank. Well, the item is useless anyway, but damn will I look fancy when I can use it. Anyway, back to questing and time to do Client of Corrend. So I just finished Client of Corrend. This quest is just a massive walk fest, so I didn't bother with recording it. I forgot that the Memoirs book came from this quest, but it's good since I don't have anything in my offhand currently. It gives +1 prayer bonus. Now with these 2 lamps, I'll put them into smithing and we'll see what level that takes us to. So that gave us 10 smithing and nearly 11, which will be good since now I'll only need to lamp until 15 for iron. Now, with this favour certificate, I've thought for a fair while about what house to put this in and decided to put it in Hosidius. Since I want to get to 60% favour for the farming guild to unlock another boss and some more farming patches. I need to put it into Hosidius since I won't be able to get favour from 1 to 5%, since I would have to plough the fields which would give me XP, so I wouldn't be able to do it. But with 5% favour, I can make sulphurous fertiliser by combining compost with the saltpeter from Wintertodt to hand in and get myself 0.1% favour for each one. When I reach 20% favour, I will be able to do the Depths of Despair quest and get myself another 10% favour. So with 300 saltpeter, it should get me to 60% favour, and I already have 234 saltpeter, so I only need 66 more, then I will have enough for 60% favour. Now I'm going to go train my combat stats up for the next couple of quests I want to do. I want to do Priest in Peril, which means I'll have to kill the Temple Guardian, which will be easy, but I also have to kill the Zamorak Monk, which has really high HP regen, with it regenning 4 HP a minute, so I will need higher stats to out DPS it. So now it's back to the fight caves and flinching the bats to 15 attack and strength. When I just gotten my strength and attack to 15, I died and came out to getting a drunken dwarf. Now on any other account, you would dismiss this guy, but on this account, it is my only way of obtaining beers. I know it sounds dumb, but beers are used in 7 different quests, and I can get all the other items of 4 of those quests. One of those quests being Vampire Slayer, which will get me 4.8k attack XP, which would be huge in the early levels. So my plan now is to go do the Restless Ghost and Priest in Peril, and after I've completed those quests, I would like to try and do Vampire Slayer. But I don't have high hopes since I won't be able to get Garlic to weaken Draken. So I completed the Restless Ghost and got 9 prayer. Then I went and started Priest in Peril, got told to kill some dog, so I went down and did that, and went to go tell the king what a good job I did. And yeah, he kind of yelled at me for actually killing the temple guardian that protects the temple. Like, man, if you want something to protect the temple, get a stronger dog, and not something some level 10 noob can kill. So it's not my fault. So then I had to come back and try and flinch the monk, but because of its regen, I couldn't kill it. So I had to come back with a full inventory of food and kill the monk so I could finish the quest. It took me about 5 minutes to kill the monk, but I'm just thankful I could actually kill it because it was looking like I could not kill that thing at some points. After that, nothing interesting happened with the quest, so I finished it up and got myself 15 prayer from it. I also got the Wolfbane dagger, but it's actually worse DPS than my black longsword, so it kind of doesn't matter at the minute. I then went to Draenor to start Vampire Slayer. Here is where the beer that I got from the drunken dwarf came in. I can use it so that I can get a stake to kill the vampire. After I got the stake, I geared up and went to go and try and kill the count. Yeah, I got absolutely handled by him. I decided that with some more training, I would be able to kill him and get my sweet 4.8k XP. I first went to use my bones from the scavenger on the Chaos Altar in the wilderness to unlock my next level of prayers to hopefully help myself. All the bones got me to level 21 prayer. Now back to the fight caves to train a 20 strength attack and 10 defense. Now that I have got my 20 strength attack and 10 defense, it's time to take my revenge on the count. The fight took so long he despawns and I only got him down to 25 HP from 35. I think I'm going to have to leave him for a little while. It just isn't possible without more DPS and armor. This is where I'm going to end the episode. I just wanted to say again a big thank you to everyone who watched, subscribed, liked, and commented on the first episode. It was amazing to see such support on my first episode, and I really can't thank you guys enough. It made Wintertodt a whole heap better being able to read your comments and give me motivation to push through. Anyway, enough of that. Next episode, I plan to get 43 prayer and start doing some magic training. I hope to see you all next episode, and have a good one.